Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go! All right, Ben Grant joining us here, color commentator for the Argos, X's and Argos podcast. You're about to go get some eggs and stuff. Big grocery list. Did you make it? Did the wife make it? How does that go?
It's a short one. We had groceries delivered, but I guess they left a few things out, so that's me.
I've never had groceries delivered ever in my life. Like, how slick is that?
Well, see, in Toronto, it takes me like almost half an hour to drive to the grocery store, even though it's a couple kilometers away. And after, getting stuck in traffic so many times, we're like, well, why don't we try delivery out? It's great until there are a bunch of items that they didn't get you, they forgot about. So here I am with a half-hour drive through traffic to get some eggs.
Do you have a guilty food one that you kind of store away that you don't let the wife know you buy? Like, is there any type of
Yes.
Yeah,
peanut butter stuffed pretzels. Those things are awesome.
Oh, well, I'm diabetic now. I've got no vices, not much of a drinker, never did drugs, any of that stuff. But I'm a diabetic and I have a sweet tooth. So anytime I hear like peanut butter stuff this or that, that's bad. Bad news. Okay, let's get to Argos and Blue Bombers. That was a weird game. Like, how often do you see 2 kick returns, a scoop and score, and a pick six, like 4 non-offensive touchdowns in any football game, let alone a CFL football game?
It was bananas. And not just that, the Argos were out of it so many different times, and yet there they were at the end of the game, like after that last interception to Tavares McFadden, which still blows my mind. Like, why was Winnipeg throwing in that situation? I know the questions have been answered a little bit this week, but it's just not like that's outthinking or overthinking maybe what's going on there. But yeah, Tavares gave them yet another shot, but they just couldn't seem to do. It was just one too many mistakes. You can't allow 2 special teams touchdowns. You can't allow a scoop and score, like all in the same game. When you're out there with your backup quarterback, you have to be perfect in the other phases. And Toronto wasn't. I don't know that Winnipeg deserved the win either. Like, it seemed like they were trying to give Toronto the win, and Toronto's like, no, we don't want it either.
Yeah, so what really the Argos, what's their issues right now? What do you see their big issue? Just making too many mistakes? Like, there's a lot of, hey, when you watch an Argos game, it's exciting. A lot of points for them, a lot of points for the other team.
Yeah, it is exciting. It's really exciting football, but yeah, it's not. I think Coach Dinwiddie would happily take less exciting with a few more victories and a few fewer mistakes. The major problem that stands out to me, which didn't show itself to the degree that maybe the special teams problems did, but the offensive line has been a problem, and it's really on the edges. The tackle play hasn't been up to par. And it's surprising because it's guys that I like and I think would probably produce a little bit better in a system where you had a more mobile quarterback, a system or a personnel structure where the other team was fearing your quarterback breaking contain. Because what the tackles are forced to do right now, Winnipeg's, for example, wasn't afraid to attack inside. They weren't afraid to blow contain because they knew that Nick Arbuckle wasn't going anywhere. And it makes it so much harder for you as a young tackle, especially like John Boss, George Moore, these guys that have been going out there, when you have to worry about both gaps against guys like Willie Jefferson. It's really tough. And so, like, to me, that has been the major issue. Now, that may not have mattered because of the special teams touchdowns, and that's been its own problem. But that one's harder to nail down than the offensive line play.
This Chad Kelly thing continues to drag on a little bit. Can you give us, from your standpoint, any update or what's going on there?
I truly believe that there wasn't any misleading or anything going on with this. I know I've heard people talk about that a lot, saying, well, the Argos must have known this was going to be a long-term thing. I really don't think so. I really think they thought Chad Kelly was coming back early in the season, and then they were really hoping he would come back after the bye. And it's just not there yet. Like, it's tib-fib breaks are really complicated because it's not just the bone. You've got soft tissue in there as well. There's so many other things going on. I don't know in Chad Kelly's case if we're talking about hardware as well that's in there. But there's so many things that can complicate your healing, and you don't, and especially with the way the the O-line has been playing, you don't want a 85% Chad Kelly back in there because he needs to be mobile. He needs to be able to move around in the pocket effectively. You can't be holding your breath every time he drops back. So I guess I'm still hopeful that he's going to return. I still believe he's going to return, but you are hearing rumblings in the fan base now. Well, maybe he's not coming back this year, and I don't think that's the case, but I really don't know.
So give me your 35,000-foot view of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. When my son joined that team, I said, I'm covering 9 teams, but the 9th is kind of at arm's length, and you'd appreciate that. I do have some concerns about 2 areas of their team. The offensive line, I know Stanley Bryant's been out. He's going to be back this week against Calgary. They just don't seem to be in sync or consistent or as dominating as they have been in the past. I'm not saying they can't get there again. And the secondary's had some issues too. Those would be 2 areas I see. What do you see from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers?
Yeah, very similar. Like I actually think I think the O-line's going to be okay. Like as you said, like when you've got guys banged up, it is going to be a little bit volatile, but I think they're going to be okay on the O-line. By the way, and before I get into anything else, it is awesome seeing Ethan Ball running around on a CFL football field. I think that is outstanding. I couldn't have been happier to see him with the uniform on. I thought that was fantastic.
Well, you're a Class C guy, and I appreciate you saying that, and I'll let you finish it up. Since you brought that up, not just because it's Ethan Ball, but right there is an example of why the ratio is so important, because a kid like that gets, I don't care if it's Ethan Ball, Ethan Grant, whatever, gets to live out his dream, and he gets a chance primarily, or a good chunk of it, because there is a ratio and because we have special teams that actually are meaningful.
Yeah, hugely meaningful. And, that's a role that as a young player, as a first-year player, you can embrace and you can go 100% at that role. And then you work yourself eventually into the starting lineup. But yeah, it's an aside, but I thought, I had ear-to-ear grin seeing him out there. That was awesome. 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, we'll be following him with interest for sure. But back to what I was saying, like the secondary is an issue in Winnipeg. They've moved stuff around. Now, it didn't cost them last week, and I wonder if it being kind of announced later in the week, like we didn't really get news of that until the depth charts were released, and maybe there wasn't enough time for Dinwiddie to really scheme to attack some of those guys, but you had 3 starters in different positions, and guys like Rhett Cranby, I don't know if he's ever played safety before. I don't remember him ever being there in university, anything. He was always a sandbacker, and suddenly there he is back there in the safety spot. When you move 3 pieces around, I expected busts, I expected problems, and there really weren't too many. That said, DeMonte Coxey had a field day, and so it's not perfect back there. I wonder, with a week to plan, I'm interested to see what Calgary, especially if Vernon Adams can return, how that secondary holds up against him with a week to plan, and see if they can expose guys who aren't used to communicating that way from that spot.
So I tweeted out last week, the most underrated CFL player, and I said Javon Catoy. I don't think BC uses him enough. I like A.J. Allen on the Riders as an underrated guy. Somebody sent a message into me saying Coxey. I'm like, I don't really think Coxey's underrated. He's a pretty good player. And then he pops against Winnipeg in that game. So then I'm thinking, okay, 3 best receivers in the CFL. And I know it's beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I'd go Kenny Lawler 1. I'd probably go Coxey 2. And then I was thinking, okay, 3. If it's a healthy Sam Amelis, I'd probably go Sam Amelis. But right now, I'd probably go Nick Dembski because he is their offensive weapon, their juggernaut. That's how I'd see the top 3 receivers. How would you see it? And just some thoughts on Coxey.
Yeah, I think Lawler's 100% has to be 1, and then I think you've got some conversations after that are really interesting. And I think Coxey has to be in that mix. He's a one-on-one killer. It is so tough to go against Coxey one-on-one. And Winnipeg had their hands full. Like Bonds is giving up about half a foot of height to Coxey. And one of Coxey's magic powers is high pointing the football. He's not the fastest guy in the world. He's not going to run away from most guys, but he high points the football perfectly. He always jumps at the exact right moment. He's got great extension, great length. And he uses his body well. He's got physicality to him. He's very tough to bring down after the catch. It surprises you, but you'll see Coxey will catch a 10-yard dig route, and you think, oh, okay, that'll go for 10 or 12. But he knocks the first guy over, stiff arms the second guy to the ground. He's very difficult to rein in after the catch. So even though he doesn't have that the elite speed per se. A lot of the guys, like I don't, Lawler doesn't really have elite speed either. It's not really his thing. You don't need to in the CFL. There's so much space. You're dealing with different body types. Like you can get away with if you are great at high point in the football. You're a great athlete in space and have the physicality to make guys miss after the catch. Like you can be dynamic. And so he is a special receiver. He's so much fun to watch. And you'll see Nick Arbuckle sometimes there's nothing there, and he's like, "Well, I'll throw it up to Coxie and see if something can happen."
Well, Bo does that with Kenny Lawler. Who's your MOP right now? If I gave you, I'm giving you an either or choice. Okay, I'm not giving you 3 or 4 choices. Trevor Harris, Bo Levi Mitchell. Who's your MOP right now?
Right now, it's Bo. Trevor Harris is playing great football. I think Bo's just. I think he's done it better than anyone else. Like he has been sensational, and this is from a guy that covers the Toronto Argonauts, so you know that there's no favoritism there at all. But yeah, Bo Levi Mitchell has played lights out football. It just seemed look at the touchdown to interception ratio. Like he's not making mistakes. So remember, that's what got him into trouble last year was too many picks and picks in bad situations. And he had the yardage last year, but they weren't winning football games because they were turning the ball over. This year, he's not. He is protecting the football. He's pushing it downfield aggressively, but not putting it into harm's way. And to me, that's really what makes him special. That touchdown on any drive, it could be coming on any drive, but he's not going to turn the football over. So, I think at this point it's early. A lot of stuff can happen, but at this point he would get my MVP vote.
And isn't that the truth? I don't think any other league it's more of a week to week league or injury to injury league. Like 3 weeks ago, I think we'd have been on the same page. Calgary's the dominant team. They kick the crap out of the Riders, and all of a sudden they get some injuries. They lose 3. Look around. It's injuries after injuries, and it's a week-to-week league. Montreal, another one. I mean, the Riders dominated the Alouettes, like good teams should. But, I mean, they start without their starting quarterback, their 2 best receivers, one of the best corners in the league, arguably the best safety in the league goes down, the center goes down. You should win 34-6. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and the key is quarterback, right? Like that's these injuries. Like yes, Montreal had a ton of injuries. Calgary's receiving core was basically gone.
Yeah,
but the quarterback is the biggest difference maker. Without your starting quarterback, it is extremely difficult to win in the CFL. And teams that don't have their starting quarterback just simply aren't winning games. That's what it comes down to more than anything else. The other stuff matters, no question. But if you've got your backup quarterback, everyone else needs to be perfect. And so you've got other positional groups banged up, you're in trouble.
Okay, so I'll let you go get your eggs and whatever else you need to get. But I'm going to ask you this question. So their record is not good, but are they better? Like, are the Edmonton Elkamos a better football team? Like, they're playing hard. I think the last 2 weeks, like the Rider game, the defense was their best game, and they hung in there again against Hamilton, a pretty good Hamilton team. But man, they're 1-6, man. They're still crappy.
I know, but they're not the same. It's hard to like. It doesn't make you feel better as an Elks fan, I'm sure, but they're not. It's not the same 1-7. Like this team is so close. Like that Keon Julian Grant catch in the end zone in the last couple of plays. Like if he makes that catch, that's an Edmonton win. That's a great Edmonton win with a catch that he has made a billion times. I don't think he's ever dropped a ball like that, probably in his life. And yet, there they are. It just seems to be like one thing every week. They've been in a couple close ones. They just find a way to, or the other team finds a way to make a play and they don't. They're one play short so many times. They're way better than their record. But in this league, it's about your record. I'd say the same thing for the Argos. They're way better than their record, but your record is your record. So you got to live with that, and you got to go out and get them next week.
And I'll squeeze one more in here. Do you agree with Bo that Cody's the most disrespected? He said quarterback, but he might be the most disrespected guy in the CFL.
Yeah, I don't know why he gets forgotten about that way. Like we're looking at a guy that he's won, he's got a Grey Cup, and not like 10 years ago either. We're talking about the 2 seasons ago. And yeah, everyone kind of like, oh yeah, backup quarterback Cody Fajardo. No, like Cody is an excellent quarterback. He is absolutely deserving of being a starter in this league. Now it's, he seems to, I don't know why he's one of those guys that it just seems to be an afterthought all the time, but yeah, he's playing good football. I think He was in tough in his first start, gave up a lot of sacks, but that's to do a little bit with going from one quarterback to another, very different styles, different drop back depths and stuff like that. But yeah, he looks good, and I think he's playing good football. He deserved to win certainly last week, even though his team didn't.
And I want to give a shout out to Elks fans. The Elkamo fans showed up, 18,000. Actually, the crowds have been getting bigger, even slightly bigger. Like not
even though
not
they're
50,
losing, yeah,
not 50,000, but I mean
right.
18,000 to show up for a team that never wins at home or barely wins anywhere. That's not bad.
I know, and I pull for the Elks from that standpoint, and the Red Blacks too, to a degree. Like it's been. I just don't like any team in the CFL to go year after year of losing football. Like that's not fair. Every fan base in the CFL puts so much of their heart into the season, and you just want, for the people in Edmonton, you want to see a winner there. You want to see them string some games together and have a playoff run. Like I would love nothing more for Edmonton to have that happen. And they're closer now than they ever have been since post pandemic. Like this is unquestionably a better squad. Will that mean anything? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, you get those peanut butter stuffed pretzels and eggs, and have a great week, man. I always appreciate talking to you.
Love talking to you, and I'm blaming you if my wife calls me out on these peanut butter pretzels, and it'd be like, well, Ballsy told me I had to get them. So
yeah, you had to get absolutely. Hey, it's your fault, honey. We should order the grocery. Everything should have been ordered in the delivery there. Anyway,
that's right.
Thanks for your time, Ben.
Take care.
I never know what to call you. Like normally you call guys that run baseball teams on the field managers, but you're also the manager off the field. Like you're kind of the GM too. So like, are you the manager, or are you a coach now and a manager in the off season, Rye?
I'm director of baseball operations, and then in the summer, field manager.
Okay, cool. How did the season go so far? Before we talk playoffs coming up here, you're never satisfied, but how did you think the season went to this point?
Well, we're kind of streaky. We'd win 7, lose a few. Just didn't play a real clean baseball. We kicked the ball around a little bit, but we got a great team, and they just figured it out. The last 2 weeks, we played really good. So.
Yeah, so when I talked to you earlier in the year, it was pitching that was kind of letting you down. Has that kind of tightened up as we've got towards the playoffs?
Yeah, we lost 2 guys to pro ball, and then we brought a few more in. So, the overall game has improved. The defensive side, timely hitting, and then the pitching has come along with it. So, we put it all together here in the last 2 weeks.
So talk to me about that, because in the past the team and teams lose guys right when the playoffs are coming. You weren't as hard hit this year. Is that true?
We weren't as hard hit this year. We have a number of seniors. We added a few more seniors, so it's come together here in the last 2 weeks, like I mentioned, and we're looking forward to the playoffs. And we're playing our best baseball right now.
So you're playing the Medicine Hat Mavericks. How do you match up? How did you match up with them in the regular season, I guess is the way to ask you.
Yeah, it was, competitive all the way around. I think we lead the season series. We beat them a couple times here, let a couple get away our last time in there. But, we're ready, and we match up well against them. I think it's going to be a good series, and, we're feeling good about our game right now.
Yeah, it is evenly matched. They're number 2, you're number 3. What are the strengths of their team?
They have a pretty, deep lineup, 1 through 9 hitting. Their pitching is okay. I think we match up well, like I mentioned. It's going to be a good series.
So in a 3-game series, what's the most important? Is there one thing more important than another when you're in a 3-game series and you start on the road?
Well, you got to put your best foot forward. Game 1, you like to win that one. When you're down 1-0 in the best 2 out of 3, that a little more pressure. You know what I mean? Game two is tough. So,
actually, to be quite honest with you, Rye, I actually like the position you're in. I don't know if you agree. Like, you never like to start on the road, I guess, but in a 3-game series, if you If you get that first one, all of a sudden you are for sure in the driver's seat. If you don't, it's like, okay, I can still come back and even the series, and then anything can go in the last game.
Yeah, we like our team. We like our position. Yeah, like you can get in there and we'll get the first game, and then all pressure's on Med Hat in our ballpark. So we're looking forward to that opportunity. We have to capitalize on that and put our best foot forward in game one.
So with the Medicine Hat Mavericks, I was mentioning before we rolled the tape here, man, I like that stadium. That's one of my favorite stadiums. I haven't been to every one, obviously, but that's one of my favorite stadiums.
I like it too. I like the history of it. The Jays were there. They did some renovations. The setting along the river and the little hills in the background. I really enjoy the ballpark, and they have some great fans too. So yeah, it's a nice place to start off the series. I love that ballpark. Yep.
So I don't know, man. Do you look at the do you look at the weather, because you're going to play there? I don't know what the weather's like going to be in Medicine Hat, but in Regina it's supposed to be cloudy and a lot of chance of rain here coming up this week. I don't know if as a manager you even get wrapped up in that.
Yeah, you kind of look ahead a little bit. You don't like to see that happen, and the things are squeezed together in the playoffs here. So those games got to get taken care of. So you're hoping you get a chance to play them. Because like I mentioned, they're all tight together here. Got to be done. Everybody be done by the 15th, 16th of August. So there's a number of games to get in here.
Yeah, and so do you like that? What's the key when you got that many games stacked up, and not just any games, high pressure games?
Well, you got to get the first one, then the pressure's off a little bit. But looking forward to that. Just got to keep it rolling and if you win the first one, and then momentum starts to build.
So let's talk about your pitching. I don't know if you've declared your lineup. If you haven't, that's fine. This won't air till your game's going to be played, so it won't be a big revelation. Who do you got going to the Hill, and if so, what do they bring to the Hill for you?
We got a senior guy from Rogers State, Landon Riley, who we've had eyes on for 3 years, and once I see a guy I like, I mean, stay on him until I get him here. So he's probably going to get game one, and we get game one. We'll make a decision. We have somebody in mind for game two, but we'll see how that all shakes out.
So in terms of Landon, what do you like about his game? In terms of what does he bring to the mound that gives you confidence in game one on the road?
Oh, number one, they haven't seen him yet.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
And he throws strikes, 6'5", 200-pound, lanky, and throws strikes. Got a good 4-pitch mix, and he's a senior, so he's got a lot of whiskers.
Okay, for a young guy, as you and I speak, whiskers. Yeah, you have a lot more hair than me, facial and on the head. Do you have a good, like we always talk in baseball, my Padres went out and reinforced their dugout, their bullpen, so they can shorten the game, per se. Do you have that option? Like, do you have a pretty good bullpen where if you run into problems early, you can shorten the game, or not problems early, you're doing well, but you can shorten the game with a pretty strong bullpen, too?
Yeah. Well, we have, 12, 13 arms. Once you get into these best 2 out of 3s, you shrink it down a little bit. We have some great bullpen arms.
Yeah.
We have some experience, some senior guys there that we have a lot of faith in. So that part of the game is shored up as well.
So do you go in with a pitch count, like regardless of the pitcher? Do you say, okay, I'd like my guy to get to the 4th inning, maybe 50 pitches or whatever? Like, do you have some sort of template in your mind?
Yeah, you always, obviously, if your pitcher gets into the 5th, he's had a great start, giving you a chance to win. So if that happens, that's outstanding. Landon, we feel, will give us that, and then we have some guys in mind for the back end here to close it down.
Well, now I'm intrigued by the mystery of Landon. I can't wait to see what he can do in Medicine Hat. And then of course, you're back here right the next day. Hopefully the inclement weather stays away, and we'll be at the park to watch you hopefully finish off Medicine Hat. Thanks for your time, Rye. I appreciate it.
All right. I'm at my local office here, Meat Kill Coffee here on Prince of Wales Drive. I'm Greek heritage, and I have to have my Greek coffee every day over here.
I love it, man. I love Greek. Anything Greece, I love, for sure. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You take care, and thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.